Okay, I would like to show you one last game, that is Planinc versus Timman in 1974. But the problem is that the authors write that this game, played in Amsterdam 1974 against Timman, this game rounded off a small French trilogy that Planinc and Timman carried out within a year and a half. The first two games were won by the Slovenian, but Timman did not give up and stubbornly repeated the variation again, apparently armed with plenty of new analysis and determined to really show Planinc this time. Now the thing is, I would like to, they didn't do it, but they should have done it. I would like to show you the first two games to understand what was the difference, right? Because I think it's kind of important. And so I will go through those two games very fast, and then we will watch game 68 of this book, okay? So the first one was played in 1973 in Amsterdam, and like I said, Planinc was white, okay, and Timman black. Here there is an ad, beautiful, but if you put an... oh, these ads are terrible, they continue to come out. It's impossible to see something, it seems. So let's see a little how the game went. So e4, e6, obviously, d4, d5. So this I will show them fast, because so we have an idea of what happened in this last game. And I must tell you that this site, chessgame.com, is terrible, because he has all this advertisement coming out that continues to move the chessboard. At least this is happening on the iPad, because I'm using an iPad to see the game. a3, bishop takes a3, sorry, bishop takes e3, b takes e3, knight e7. Okay. Knight f3, knight bc6, bishop e2, queen f5, bishop e2, queen f5, attacking here. Bishop d2, c4. This is a kind of interesting thing of the French. You need to know this will go here, then probably it should go here because it needs to block this, and it will castle on the queen side. If I remember well, the theory as taught by Grandmaster Perth from England. The thing is that this is played in 1973, so we don't know if in that time the theory was known like that. Okay, knight g5, h6, knight h3, knight g6. Then I continue with a4. You see the problem, a4. This needs to be blocked before, because otherwise it becomes a problem for black if you want to castle queen side. Castle, right, sorry. After a4, bishop here, castle, and castle. Okay, so that was the problem that I remember, but obviously I saw this line maybe in 2016, 2015, so obviously with hindsight we are all geniuses. Bishop h5, knight g e7, queen e1, king b8, f4, and it goes even deeper. That's funny. Bishop c1, f5. E takes f6, g takes f6. This is called en passant. G takes f6. f5, e takes f5. bishop a3, and now he plays this. I don't know, this seems interesting, kind of interesting. So why it's interesting? So if he takes, attacking the queen. Okay, so he has to move a queen, obviously. Queen d2 and rook g8. Yeah, because obviously there is a problem here. If he takes, you cannot take back with that, and so bishop b4, queen c7, rook e1, and bishop takes e4, knight f4, and queen d7, rook f2, b6, rook f e2, knight takes f4, and rook takes this. Knight takes g2. Wow, beautiful move, interesting move. Rook takes this. Tak. Rook g1 probably. No, he didn't. Ah, yeah, he couldn't rook g1 because in any case knight f3 doesn't work. Okay, so it takes here, and queen takes c1. I don't know, the bishop pair is for white, and he has the queen. He's gonna make a mess here. Rook g5, let's see what happened. h4. Oh, beautiful move. If he takes on h5, there is queen e8 check, and he will take back the rook. He took. Maybe there was nothing else to do. Rook king b7. And now I think the game is over, but they still played few moves. a5, bishop f8, bishop takes c2, queen takes h6, bishop e4, and queen takes f6, and here Tillman gave up. So this is the game number 1 of the 3. Let's see the others, okay? Now we see game 2 of this trilogy, and then we see the game from the book, okay? So e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, e5, c5, a3, and bishop takes c3. Let's keep in mind that this game was played always in 1974, the previous one in 1973. So they didn't have computers, and they had to find the solution to their problem by themselves, by analysis, and sometimes they were not helped by other players because everyone was jealous of their own discoveries, right? To use them in a tournament. So in that time, chess was unique. Why? Because clearly you had to find the solution to your problems, or through analyzing by yourself, or through asking to some more expert player if they would give you a novelty or something they studied, or by having a lot of tournament games that was difficult to find in that time. That's why they had this informant and everybody was reading it, because it brought the latest games, right? They didn't have chess base like now. So it was difficult. As we can see, it's the same line they played before, as we can see. But let's see again if he let white to play a4. Yeah, he let white play a4. I don't think this should be allowed. He must not be allowed. He must fix it there, I think. In any case, this is a kind of bad bishop, but if he goes here, he keeps this under attack and this in this position, so practically white cannot do much. But once it's here, it gives a problem, I think. So that's why, okay? Castle, f4, g8, knight f2. Oh, look also the difference. Now he played this instead of going here, so he didn't waste the tempo. But also here is still kind of close, right? So he probably want to do this and this. This is the maneuver that Timman has found in his study, which maybe doesn't work. And this is why I think in the book about Planinc they should have included these two games, just to give us an idea. Oh, sorry, it wasn't this the move, it was f5, and he played this instead of opening the thing, like he did in the previous game. Knight h8. I think it's interesting that I was able to find the two other games, because in this way we can enjoy this battle between Planinc and Timman over the board for 3 times. And I think it must have been very hard for Timman to continue to lose in this line. Why he wanted to play the French, I don't know. Honestly, I started to play the Sicilian, and yes, it's true, there is so much theory that is scary, but Timman is a professional. And the position, however, are really much more dynamic, much more violent, in my opinion, than the French. So the Sicilian is really exciting. Of course, it depends on what one likes, okay? He takes d6. Let's see how did he lose, because now it doesn't seem he's doing very badly. He's now launching an attack on the king side, but I think he's a little faster, maybe, our friend here, white. Wow. Oh, sorry. You hurt your nose. Okay, d7, attack. Oh, things start to look bad. Okay, I will pause here just a second, try to find what what white played, because it's kind of interesting. Maybe pause the video and try to find it. This is interesting. Boom, d8. Rook takes here, and now we got this. Okay, so it wasn't only and this is an interesting thing. How did they prepare? Because okay, Timman maybe found some difference in his analysis, but the problem is he didn't have a computer to try it on, because generally now you would make some analysis and try against the computer to see if your idea works or not. So now look how beautiful is this. Boom. Obviously you cannot take over with a checkmate, but the game is practically nearly over, right? When you see things like that, the game generally is going down. And the game ends up here. So this was move 40. It's possible that the last few moves they were a little short of time. Now the problem is not only this, but is a checkmate here if he doesn't take back. If he takes back, and he cannot take here because again there is a checkmate by this. So this is game 2 of the trilogy. Now we go to see what Planinc and Timman played in the 4th game that it's inside this book. Okay, now we finally see the game from the book. We see how it went from here. This, I think, it was beautiful to see. They should have placed it very, very fast to see what they had played before, because that's the curiosity, right? Okay, I will pause the video and start again. Okay, so we are ready and we see what Timman did this time. Okay, e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, e5, c5, a3, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, knight e7, knight f3, knight bc6, bishop e2, queen a5, bishop d2, c4, knight g5, h6, and he says all the same as in the previous 2 games. Okay, perfect. Knight h3, knight g6, castle, bishop d7, bishop h5, knight c e7, e4 once more, castle, and here he says queen e1. It's an exclamation point. I already don't remember if he played this also in the previous one. Returning to the order from the 4th game, number 61. So the 4th game was there. Let's see. That's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, game 61. 61, Planinc, Timman. So they are here, game 60 and game 61. Oh, what a pity that they didn't say it. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But the point is, why didn't you put them one after the other so one could actually see it? Okay, it doesn't matter. I had to find it on the iPad. I would have not find it. Okay, this is why. Okay, why they didn't put it 60? This is game 68. It would have made sense 67 and 66 eventually, just to see them fast. Okay, king b8, bishop c1, and again Planinc is the one who produces a new move. The year before he had continued with f4. Okay, in the same tournament against the same opponent. Okay, let's see what happens. Rook c8, bishop a3, queen d8. I seem to see this, we just saw it, right? a5. Okay, this is a very bad trap. Obviously the pawn is poisoned, because if you take, there is bishop d6 discovery, you take the queen. Okay, that's clear. Rook g8 and queen c1, rook c6, e6. Wow, again a beautiful move. Again, here you cannot take. because if you take, as always, there is this and then these two come right away probably, but it would have been interesting to see. What a pity that there is not a diagram just in this moment, okay? So I will eventually return back a little, since every time we make a mistake. Okay, so let's see. Rook takes a6, I just want to see it. Bishop d6. And black would face a set choice from a hopeless exchange sacrifice. So there is rook takes d6, or let's see what happens. See if he doesn't do rook takes d6. Let's say he plays this. Tack, tack, and here he says queen a3, with white having a decisive advantage. Okay. Why a decisive advantage? Huh? Maybe it was better to play a couple of more moves to understand what happens, right? Because I think maybe white can close this thing. Black can close it, right? So if he can close it, how do you actually win? I don't know. But, okay, let's return a couple of moves before and see what happened in that place. And let's hope this time I put everything in the correct order. However, I think they could have said, the trilogy, okay, but just watch game 60 and 61. That would have made much more sense. And let's see, everything is okay? Yep. Okay. So, just a second, this was here. Okay. So in this position he played a5, rook g8, queen c1. And this is beautiful, this move, because it shows how white is going to transfer all the pieces and attack there. So sometimes we don't pay enough attention to little moves like this one. Rook c6, a6, beautiful, okay, b6, f4. And once more, black tries f5, but I think we have seen also in the previous one. Take, take, and now f5 again. Well, let's see what happens. Knight takes f5, and of course here there is an exchange sacrifice. Rook takes f5. Okay, yeah, the game is really beautiful. It's really interesting to see how someone like Tiemann couldn't actually find something that would beat Planinc. And that is the problem. In that time you didn't have a computer. What do? You have to find it by yourself. And he didn't find it. Queen takes h6. Here it says Grandmaster Dragoljub Minic rated this position as winning for white. The computer disagrees, and we will soon see why. f4. This move is a mistake, and most likely Tiemann missed white 28. Also bad would be rook h8. Okay, so what is the right move? Tell us the right move instead of everything that doesn't work. Okay, so the right move was probably this, queen e8. Okay, so queen e8 is the move found by the computer to save the position. Just to tell you, so at least that we know. Instead he played f4, bishop takes g6, bishop takes h3, queen takes h3, rook takes g6, and the problem is here. Queen h7, threatening obviously the checkmate here, and the rook is gone. So yeah, it's a big problem, right? Yeah. Okay, it's interesting to discover if Timman ever made something to actually be able to draw or win a game with black with this line, or if someone else found it for him. That could have been kind of interesting. Okay. In any case, this was about Planinc. I'm sorry that I didn't see that game 1661 were part of the trilogy. I was looking for them on the computer because I thought they were not in there. Instead, they were in there. So I'm sorry about that. The book, as you can see, it's very interesting, in my opinion, and it's worth to buy it and read it. So I hope you will enjoy it. The publisher also did a good job. It's very heavy. So the paper is really good quality. A book that will last in your library, in your chess library. I hope you enjoyed all the games that we have seen, and this French that unfortunately it's bad. I don't know what you could do to improve it, but that's interesting. That's really interesting. Especially in that time that you didn't have a computer to tell you the truth, not to tell you, oh, what you should play to save the game.